as well as for me is, do we see it? Are we functioning as a missionary? Have we answered the call of God to be on mission? I remember growing up, I used to watch the TV series Mission Impossible. Some of you are old enough like me to remember that show on TV. Well, they made movies of it now, and so there's been movies more recently. But in that, Mr. Phelps would listen to a tape, which would, toward the end of the message, would say, your mission, should you choose to accept it. And then it would go on to say the mission, and then say this tape will self-destroy in so many seconds. That's it. Have you accepted the mission that Christ has left for you and for me? Or continues, he says, God calls a few believers to be missionaries, but he assigns all believers missionary-like responsibility. A believer who understands God's mandate to share the gospel and takes it seriously will be on mission as a natural expression of his or her Christian commitment. You go back and you look in the Bible and you find Paul. Paul was a tent maker. But he understood from the moment that he was saved, when he had that Damascus Road experience, he realized that his life was changed, that he had a calling on his life. And his testimony reads something like this: I was made a minister according to the gift of God's grace, which was given to me according to the working of his power. You see, like Paul, we are called to share the unfathomable riches of Christ. If you've experienced Christ in your heart and in your life, if you've come to a saving knowledge of him, then we ought to be willing to share that with people around us. That's why there are so many 15-year-olds without hope. That's why there are so many senior adults without hope. That's why there are so many people around us who have no relationship to Christ. But you see, we must never forget that what Jesus did for us is all about people. It's about people everywhere who need to know the love of Jesus Christ. They're like that little girl that my 4-year-old granddaughter played with. They all have 10 fingers. Well, most of them do. Some folks have lost a finger or two. But you see, we need to recognize them as people who need to know Jesus. Let me give you some important points about the effectiveness of the cooperative program. You know, our churches come together to give through the cooperative program to do missions literally around the world. The international